2020 and beyond, we need to move on from that. We need to let it go, breathe, live in the now, in the moment, in the present. And that is the most enabling power you can have. Hey guys, what's up? It's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. With it being a new year, a new decade, new energies, that means there's new rants. So welcome back to my channel if that's what you're here for. If you're new here, hello, I am Paige, and it's not as terrible as it may seem. I just like to give my perspective on all things about consciousness, about being a person, self-healing, spirituality, tarot, that kind of gig. So that's what we talk about here on this channel. So if you're interested in content like that, make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you know when I'm uploading. As always, we get right into the meat of this, and that is we need to move on collectively as a society, but specifically you as an individual. That's where the change really starts. That's how any change really starts. It starts with one person. As anything, it takes that one inspired idea, inspired action to be like, okay, I have somewhat of a direction now. If that was not the case, there would literally be nothing good in society. And I have to say, I think we're missing the point. There are certain things that society needs to let go of if we are going to transcend to other levels of consciousness that are literally necessary for our beingness, for being alive on earth. And as intense as they might sound, it's really not that hard. It really just requires you to enjoy your life and be happy and feel good. I know. Terrible, right? But this is where I have to just keep saying you're missing the point. And let me just elaborate a little bit. The 2020 energy, I have to say, there is this profound feeling that it's okay to be who you are. We've been working up for this energy for a long time, pretty much destroying this image that we had of ourselves, and it's been a long process for the collective. Like I said, things are changing and energies are changing, so throughout that, everybody is inevitably adapting. Even if they're not actively trying to better themselves, they're still going through the energies. They're still getting that push and pull through the energy. Going into this more authentic, divine energy, the divine feminine energy of that too, the 22, the 2020, whatever going on, that kind of energy is kind of scary for people because they're expecting it to be a lot harder. I mean, think about any time that you're confronted with that feminine energy. Most of the time it's when you're not feeling great, and it's like the darker side, that darker emotional nature that you can't really control, and people get really nervous about that. So I see why people have kind of been more fearful about this more authentic side of themselves because, if you're not awakened and in this process, you probably aren't aware of that side of yourself, your shadow side. But for most of us, especially on this channel, we have been doing the shadow work for months, and it has really paid off. And that's what the 2020 energy, this decade, really will bring to us. People cling to the past thinking that, you have to work super, super, super hard to get what you want in really physical sense and a really mental sense. That's not the case. We've learned throughout the past years that it comes from within. It comes from a heart-centered place that you truly accomplish success and true happiness in this lifetime. If we're really going to move forward as a society, we need to see things, you need to see things specifically as so much more valuable than what we've previously given credit to. Like your thoughts, for example, your emotions, for example. Those are key elements in things that really do have value that we haven't really given much, attention to. We haven't given much thought to, but recently throughout all the years, throughout all the movements that we've had, especially with mental health has blown up in the past few years, and it's because it's okay now. People are okay with expressing this side of themselves that is, it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit more authentic in nature though, and that's the thing, everybody has it. So we really just need to drop this idea that that's not the case, because in reality, we all have a darker nature. We all have a darker side. So things like cancel culture needs to be cut off in 2020 and beyond, because we all have flaws. We've all done something that we're not proud of, or that, doesn't reflect our truest light. So give it a rest. It's okay. If this is resonating for you guys so far, because honestly, a lot of these have been vibes that I've picked up on, or lessons that I've picked up on in the past few years that really show what is to come for us. So I just like to see, if you guys have learned similar lessons, but I would definitely love to hear from you guys. Another thing we need to move on from is worry in general. I mean, to a certain degree, worry does benefit us, but with everything, it's in moderation. By no means do you need to put yourself in positions where you're over analyzing, over worrying about an outcome to an event, because you're putting yourself through it multiple times. You know, it's only ever gonna be a moment. Honestly, that's one of my favorite mantras ever, is it's only ever a moment. And the more that you bring significance to those moments, or significance to certain things, you know, the more that things might pop up in those areas, and hiccups, bad things are more likely to pop up in those areas, because you know you have that negative fear mindset in those. But in 2020 and beyond, we need to move on from that. We need to let it go, breathe. So many devices, so much technology that will allow you to be the safest you've ever been in the entire time of the earth. So this is literally the least amount of time that you need to be worried about things. And you know, you can say like there's X, Y, and Z why you need to worry, but like I said, in moderation. Worrying really doesn't do anything. Having a peace in mind and helpful attitude towards things will do something for you. Law of attraction, man. Like attracts like, it's physics. Seriously, this is the best time to be alive. This is why we are so full of so many hopeful, light-working souls that just want to make a change and make a difference, because this is the time to do so. You know, we don't have to worry about how we're getting food on the table or getting eaten by a bear. Like, we can just live in the now, in the moment, in the present, and that is the most enabling power you can have. So the next thing we need to move on from, and I freaking mean this, self-deprecating jokes. It's not funny. It actually was never funny, but I'm not gonna lie, I played a part in it. Especially in like early 2010, 2011, 2012, like Twitter was a dark place. And I know a lot of people were out there putting their shadow sides out there as a joke, finding humor in it. That was kind of explosion, transformation, pre-awakening for a lot of people, because they were in this state of like, you know, like, I want to be vulnerable, I feel vulnerable, I have the means to be vulnerable, because, you know, the internet, all these social media apps started blowing up. That allowed more connectivity, more vulnerability, and we realized, you know, we're all kind of the same. We all have similar qualities to ourselves, and a lot of people don't like themselves. But is that necessarily the way? Is it okay if your friend jumps off the bridge that you do it too? You know, look out below. That's all I'm saying. Because, you know, having that negative self-talk, even as a joke, it sticks. I can't even tell you how many times I've made a joke, like a mocking comment about a phrase, like literally, for example. I mean, you guys watch my videos, you know how often I say that word, and I just started off saying it ironically, and now it's literally part of my vocabulary. Oh my god, I did not mean to say that, but seriously, that's how things work. If you're meaning it in a lighthearted manner. I know personally this year, well, last year specifically, I really stepped up my game when it came to filtering what I was consuming on TV or on my phone, because you truly have no idea how affecting that kind of stuff is to you. Realize how much it's been engraved in your brain. You're like 15 years down the road and you're still able to recite every line from SpongeBob. So I'm just saying, like, careful about how you talk about yourself. We need to move on from thinking that we're not enough. You know, unironically say that you are enough, that you are great, and strut your stuff. You know, you're not bragging, you're not being conceited, you're not cocky, you're confident. You're the most powerful you are when you're authentic and you're in your own power. You feel your own power. So own your shit, man. That's what 2020 and beyond is for. Last but not least, we have moving on from labels. How many times could I tell you that I have expressed this in ways that people still want to deny the truth in it? So take this even as a seed, but just know that when you label yourself, if you're doing it to seek independence and to, you know, express yourself in your most vulnerable way, you're still labeling yourself. You're still saying, you know, me versus you. I'm this. I'm in this category. I do this sort of thing, which I've never said that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but I do see a step above that, a step higher in consciousness, in your evolution and growth that allows you to go beyond that, which is recognizing that you are undefinable, truly undefinable. There is not a single category that captures all that you are. So allow yourself to feel that, to just feel the power. It's humongous. It is outstanding. Just allow it to be what it is, because the more that you try to constrict yourself, the more that you try to, you know, suit the needs of this category, stuff the other sides of you under the rug, you know, those areas will be brought to light. Always karmic justice. So being authentic is going to be your best bet, hands down, especially in 2020 and going forward. This is the year of being your most authentic, true self and using that in a grounded, practical way. So yeah, that's why you need to move on. You specifically. This is all something we can take responsibility for within our own lives, within ourselves. Honestly, that is how change is made. One person, one choice at a time. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you like and comment to let me know, or dislike if you didn't like it, which also comment to let me know because I'd like to hear it. So yeah, I value your opinions. But if you want to hang out on my other social media platforms, my Instagram and Patreon and WordPress and all that other good stuff is linked down below. So check that out. I'd love to see you there. But I hope to see you guys in later videos. Bye for now.